we talk every day about investments and different things. So we decided today to talk about it. You know what I'm saying, live and all that. But
I'm still fairly new at it. I've been doing it for about a year now. However, I joined a chat room. It's pretty much like a mentorship for us. His name is Robin Hood Killer, and pretty much he calls out some calls for trading. He'll tell us what long-term stocks to jump into, short-term stocks. So I'm still learning, but for the most part, I've become extremely passionate about it.
right.
And I think I made a good enough amount of money.
Right, so that we can chat about it.
Still learning.
Like, I've been doing this for about 7 years, but I'm coming to her when it comes to day trading and even general things when it comes to stock. Like, I'm a long-term investor. I love long-term investments, but when it comes to day trading and different things, she's been helping me, and she's been my mentor. She's my little cousin and one of my most favorite people in the world, but she's been helping me and guiding me through this stuff. So we decided tonight's a good night to chat about it. So we gonna do it.
We actually joked about it earlier because I said, yo, you've been doing this stock thing for so long. Had I jumped on it when you told me, we'd be rich by now. But the goal is to be rich. It's gonna happen soon. But we're gonna chat it up a little bit.
Okay, so let's go into a couple of things. We're gonna talk about side hustles for people if they wanna make extra money. You know what I'm saying? Because we always talk about this, and this is something that we both really passionate about.
Absolutely.
So can we talk about some of the side hustles that people can do if they really want to make some money, make some extra money?
So some of the things that I started to do was, I want to say 2015, I got my real estate license. I started doing programs for those who are in program City, FEPS, Link, Section 8. It's an easy come up. Pretty much you reach out to a landlord and you let them know, because I have a family who wants to rent this apartment. If the landlord is open to it, he pretty much says yes. He signs the application. You will pretty much make, if it's a 3-bedroom, like I want to say $2,200 on each apartment.
As the realtor?
Yes, as the realtor.
Okay.
So that's a pretty good hustle to do.
Okay.
The good thing about that is you don't have to just focus on apartments.
Okay.
The bigger picture is the houses. You want to sell the houses.
So, but you got to start from somewhere. So the apartments is.
For me, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually scared of the whole house thing. It was big for me. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. You read all this information, you pass the test, but at the end of the day, you don't remember half of what you actually studied. You pass the test and then everything goes blank. So I was afraid, but you could jump right into it. Once you got your real estate license, you have to go to a broker. You know, there's popular ones like Exit, Remax. There's different brokers. You go to them, and then they basically hold your license for you. Of course, they're going to get a commission off of whatever you sell or whatever you rent out. The house for me is real big because there's, like you said, it's a side hustle for some people. So, for example, I have a full-time job. So if I wanted to continue to do my real estate on the side, it's a lot. It's a lot of work when you have to constantly drive people around. And be like, here's this house, and they don't like it. You got to show them 30 houses sometimes before they actually like, yeah, this is the one. So if you want to avoid that particular headache, because you have a full-time job, you could get in it with a partner. A partner that does this full-time. And then you be like, listen, I got people that I know that's willing to sell their house. If we list this together, you could do all the footwork. I just want my money. So I've done that before. I had a partner. She's very supportive. She's taught me a lot. And pretty much, I got the house. I told her, listen, my homegirl, her aunt is selling the house. I need you to go do the presentation. She nailed it. She did all the paperwork. She did the appraisals, the inspections. She did everything. Once it was time to sell, I pretty much got my share of the cut. So it's easy when you have a partner.
And you have a mentor.
And you have a mentor. She taught me as much as she could teach me in the times that I was able to be available, because it is hard, like I said, when you have another job.
So let me ask you a question. When you started in the real estate game and in the real estate business, because we're going to talk about the money game. Like, a lot of people don't understand that knowing how to play the game of money is a real thing. Like, it's not just, I'm going to make money, I'm going to do this. Like, it's literally a game. It's just like playing ball. It's just like running track. It's just like anything. Like, you want to win. You want to be good at it. So when did you realize that you wanted to go into that field, and what
was my motivation to go
into real estate? And then we'll talk about the fields that you went into as well.
So to be honest, I was doing nightlife. which most people know.
Right.
They just sell so bad.
Right.
I was doing nightlife, and I was just like, man, this world is becoming toxic.
Right.
So
it's good money in that.
It's great money. But
good side hustle too.
Absolutely. But it becomes toxic.
Right.
At a point in your life when you get older,
you outgrow
and your goals are different.
Right.
Your outlook on life is different. You outgrow the industry. Some of the people, not all of them, you gain some good friends. So basically, I was like, man, I went out.
Right.
And had a leap of faith. I left, and then 2 weeks later, I think I cried. Like, how am I paying all these bills?
Right.
So I just was like, man, I'm gonna study.
Cause that was your go-to.
That was my side hustle at that point in time. Right. So I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and I was like, you know what? I went on Groupon.
Right.
Found me a nice little coupon. I was like, yeah, we'll see how this works. I took the test, I passed, and I was like, if this works out for me, I'll go for it. And if it doesn't, then it's on to the next one. But in this case, it worked out for me. So that was pretty much the motivation. Money is the motivation, I guess you could say. I was like, I need this money. I got things, bills to pay. I got goals to meet. I got, future goals that I need, house, whatever comes with your future life, you need money for.
Right.
At the end of the day. New York especially, it's tough out here. It's rough.
Right.
It's really expensive. So once I jumped out on a leap of faith and realized I didn't have that extra income coming in, I needed something to supplement.
So again, it was really game time.
It was just game time at that point.
And you capitalized off of it being game time, and you made that decision like, yo, I'm gonna go all in.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna bust my ass, and I'm gonna rock this shit.
And even that, another side hustle, in the midst of studying, I think it took me about 3 months to really retain all the information. The book is very, very big. And so in the midst of that, I had a side hustle. It's called a WSP, a waiver service provider.
Okay.
Because I do have my bachelor's degree.
Right.
I was able to provide services to like suicidal kids, foster children.
Right.
And that was a good come up as well. I was getting paid like $50 an hour.
Right. And what business? What industry was that?
That's like nonprofit. That's like a nonprofit.
So if anybody is interested in getting into that, what's that industry?
They have different companies. I used to work for JCCA.
Okay.
They have there's like 4 of them. I could get back to you, give you the information, but JCCA is a very important one that's been out for a very long time, and pretty much And
you was with them for how long?
I was with them as a supervisor for 7 years.
Wow.
But it's a good industry as well because, at the end of the day, we speak about goals and future. The kids are the future.
Right. And
so these
was that the job that you used to do on the weekends?
That was the one I used to do evenings, weekends.
What was the one that you used to do on Saturdays that you used to make a bunch of money
That
with?
was the WSP work.
Oh, okay,
I would go to the clients' houses, go take them to the park. I would speak to the family, giving them tools on how they can get their children back because some of these kids were in foster care. Some were looking to be adopted, but some were also looking to go back to their parents. So it was my job to incorporate certain programs and ways that the parents could do better with their children to get them back.
So kids coming out of coming out of college with social work degrees and all of that.
Could get into that.
And where can they?
They can go to JCCA. JCCA is there's different locations, but the one I worked at was on 149th and 3rd.
Okay, so that's a whole nother side hustle that we wasn't even going. I forgot all about that.
I totally forgot about that one.
You know what I'm saying? What's the other one that you know about and that you had did at one point?
I'm trying to think of the name. I don't remember. There's Grand Wyndham.
Okay.
That's another one. They're all the same thing. They're just different companies.
Okay.
There was Grand Wyndham. There's like 2 more. I'll get the name for you and get back to you on that. I'll even post it on my Instagram for those that are watching.
Right. That just want information on other side hustles that could take them to another level and really
for the lower
give them
services
another opportunity.
that you provide. They pay about $22 an hour, and you only need a GED or a high school diploma.
Nice.
And then anything above that is in regards to crisis intervention, pre-vocational. You would then need like an associate's or a bachelor's. But they pay good. You make your own schedule. You're your own boss, and you're doing a great service.
Dope.
So that was a side hustle. But in the meantime, because I hadn't got my real estate license, I jumped into that.
Right.
So that was my
and made a killing.
Made a killing with that.
Right.
Made some good friends. And people that I met there, actually, I motivated them to go into the law enforcement. So they're actually, one of my supervisors now is a probation officer.
Wow. Super dope.
Cool.
Super dope.
Yeah. So that's one hustle.
Okay.
The real estate's another.
And
now I have my notary license.
Right.
So, with notary, you have to take a test. You have to study. Of course, there's laws to it.
Right.
There's things that you have to make sure that you abide by. For example, you cannot charge more than $2. So So you thinking like, how is that a side hustle? Like,
okay.
notary $2, New York. That's not.
What do you
nothing.
mean you can't charge more
Legally,
than $2?
You cannot charge more than $2 to notarize.
So if I come to you with a document, I can't charge you more than $2?
No, I can't charge you more than $2. So you're like,
how does that work?
Exactly. So there's two things to that. So in New York, you got people that work with it. You got single parents that got babies, can't come out, it's snowing. You can charge for the mileage and the gas, and you could be a mobile notary.
Oh,
so I could have somebody like, yo, I need a notary. It's 10 o'clock at night. I need this notarized by tonight because I gotta leave at 6.
Right.
I calculate the amount of gas I spend, the mileage I spend, on top of the charge of the notary. So somewhere, let's say from here to, let's say maybe Hunts Point, what's that, a 10-minute ride, right? I could probably charge $25, $30 and be done within 20, 30 minutes.
Right.
So I'm pretty much making $30
a half an hour in a half an hour.
Correct. If you got a couple of people coming at you per day, per week, it adds up.
So we always talk about, like I just did a YouTube, pretty much like a tutorial on the doubles game. Oh, and I didn't put a plug in for myself. You can reach me at Quan Dukes on IG and Quan Dukes at YouTube and Quan Dukes on Facebook. I just did something on the money game and talking about how you can leverage your money and do different things, you know what I'm saying? And how everything is a doubles game. You know what I'm saying? Like when you make money, you want to double your money.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's why.
Talk about that today. Like,
right.
Everybody's so scared to use their money for investments, they keep it in the bank. And then here, these banks are making so much money off of our money because they're utilizing our funds to give out a loan on a home.
Right.
And then they charging you, especially if your credit ain't good.
Right.
They charging you buku money on the finance charge, but it ain't even their money.
Yo.
So instead of keeping our money in a bank to help these banks lend money out, we have to now invest in ourselves.
And that's the thing. With inflation, you're losing. The American dollar is only worth 90 cents right now. So if you leaving it in the bank, you losing. So why not try to figure out a way to leverage your money and play the doubles game and play the money game?
Right.
That's why we here for y'all right now, and that's why we talk about that. We
gonna
get into that in a second. Right.
But just real quick to finish off, if you really don't want to do the whole notary thing, you could become a loan signing agent.
Right.
So now in New York State, I'm certified. I went and got my certification for it. However, it's not required.
And what's that?
Basically, I took an exam that basically teaches you all the loan documents. Loan documents that usually the escrow officer or the title company fills out. But if you have your notary license and you're familiar and you familiarize yourself with those documents, then you are called whenever there's a loan signing for a home to be closed on.
Okay.
So like, let's say you just purchased your home, you finalizing your loan documents, you might be in your house.
Right.
A title company or escrow company is gonna call me. Hey, Ms. Morales, are you free to do a closing at 6? Yes, I am. Okay, we're gonna send you the documents. I have a printer right there that I spent money on, and then I print all the documents, and then I go to the individual's house. I pretty much make sure that every signature is signed, every initial is signed, dates are signed, make sure that they know to sign as per the way their name is how they have to sign. Okay. Any little mishap can delay them on their process of closing. Okay. And then I'm a notary. There's documents in a loan that has to be notarized.
So those go
hands in hand.
Coincide.
Pretty much. And so you, depending on what kind of loan signing you're doing, you could charge $150 and you could be done. My first loan signing, I got paid, I think, $125. I was done in like 45 minutes. I remember. And I made a good connect. The guy that was there, he was a part of the title company. Okay. And he said he knew I was new only because I was doing everything the right way. Right, and I was on point. He was like, you was just doing everything. He was like, I knew you was fresh. He was like, but you did a good job. And I keep in contact with him. And he makes, at this point, he's making $250 to $300 for every closing. You could do a closing in 30 minutes. Wow. And how many closings do you think he does? Oh, he does it full time. He's actually a retired firefighter. Okay. He wasn't a firefighter. He was like above the firefighters, but he's been doing that for 30 years, and now he's been retired for a few. So this is not just a side hustle. This is you can basically. This is his second career. Correct. So he retired. He's been doing this full time for, I think he said, about 4 years. He definitely makes over 6 figures. Wow. Absolutely. And he doesn't work full time. He maybe puts in 15 hours a week and still makes 6 figures. Now again, that's what you call working smarter, not harder. But
this kid right here is one of the hardest working people I know. She goes to her day job, then after her day job, she's 1-2 in it, and
always.
She's just getting to it.
Always.
Like, honestly, like, that's the way you gotta be in this world if you really, really genuinely want to make it. Like, you can't just work harder. You gotta work smarter, and you gotta work harder. It gotta be like synergy.
Right. I feel like, I be joking around like, I'm mentally 35, I'm old, but in reality, I'm young.
Right.
So I feel like I'd rather work hard now.
Right.
So that when the time comes, I'm set and I'm chilling.
Right.
I don't want to be 50, 60 working hard, still trying to wish that I did what I had to do back then. Like, I want to do that now.
We trying to be on the yacht by this summer,
By the end of this year, I must be a whole millionaire. I don't care what nobody says. Word. That's why we talk about trading tonight, because at the end of the day, I was actually very fearful. I'm like real tight with my money. I don't like to spend. I don't like to lose. I'm like this, but I got into it, saw a little money, and I was like, you know what? At the end of the day,
scared money don't make money.
You gotta be in it to win it.
Right.
So I started doing that, and that's why we're pretty much here right now.
So, cause I like when it comes to my money, sometimes I can be a little scary. But I've been talking to her so much and talking her head off every day. Like, Sal, how should we go about this? Or how should I do this? And like, this kid is literally my mentor. She's my little man, and she's my mentor. Like, for real. Like, I be harassing her. It'd be so crazy. Like, I hit her today, 5:30 in the morning.
He was like, this is where I'm at with it. I'm like, okay, I see you got more profit. Like,
Okay, so explain a little bit the difference between day trading and being a long-term investor.
Okay, so I mean, it's a lot to it. It's
right,
that simple. But so day trading is pretty much when you buy into people day trade stocks as well.
Right.
I haven't really done this day trading of stocks, but basically day trading is when you buy and sell the same day.
Right.
You could buy a stock and it could go up, and then you sell it for the profit.
Okay, better question. Tell the difference between long-term investing and calls.
All right, so I'm gonna break everything.
And options and puts and all of that.
Right,
puts and calls
and all. Everything. Okay. So you got your day trading. Just basically means you buy and sell the same day, whether it be a stock or a call.
Right.
Right. So, or rather, a stock or an option.
Right.
So an option is when you basically buy into contracts.
Right.
You have a call and a put.
Right.
A call is that your prediction is that the price will go up.
Go up.
The put is that the prediction that the price will go down.
Correct.
Obviously, common sense, a buy and a sell is you buy it or you sell it, right? If you buy the call or put that same day and sell it, you basically day trade it.
Okay.
If you didn't do that, you then you swing. You swing.
So explain to them what a swing trade is, like how you did when you taught me.
Okay. So a swing trade just basically means that you did not sell it the same day you bought it.
Okay.
Now, it could be the very next day. It could be the day after that. It could be whenever.
Can it be? How long can it actually be?
So now a leap call
okay.
is considered anything predominantly 6 months or further out.
Okay.
So, for example, when I first started, I jumped into the calls that expired maybe 4 weeks away from where I was at.
Okay.
2 months, 4 to 8 weeks to where I was at. You could make a lot of money, but you could also lose it fast if your prediction isn't right. Right,
but then you told me that you felt like you understood it a little more if it was further out.
I felt safer when it was
better
further
words.
out because I knew that I had enough time for it to recover if it went negative on me.
Okay.
So I prefer now to stay with the lead calls.
Okay.
I have 6 option calls right now currently.
Okay.
One of them expire in April. The other 5 do not expire until January 2023.
Right. So for people that don't understand the difference between the options and stocks, it's almost like renting an apartment and buying a house.
Yes.
And buying a house, right?
Then yes. And then it's a lot of details to the options though. Okay. So how it works is
you're leasing.
And you have to pick your expiration date.
Okay.
You have to pick the strike price.
Right.
So basically let's say we have a stock that's like $5 right now. Mm-hmm. And your prediction is that it's going to go up to 7. Mm-hmm. Right? You would go to the trade option part, you would pick your expiration date first.
Okay.
Then you would look at your strike price that you want.
Okay.
You might want to say, hey, I believe it's going to go to 7. So you pick your 7 if that's the option.
Okay.
Across from the option, you're going to find a number that has a decimal.
Okay.
That's called a premium.
Right.
The premium may say like 95 cents.
Okay.
But you have to keep in mind that you're buying it by the contract. A contract, every contract has 100 shares.
Right.
So if the premium says 95 cents, you're doing 95 cents times 100, which means for that particular option, you're actually paying $95.
Right, because with a stock, you would just buy one.
Correct. 1 or 2 or 3, but it's just one.
Right.
In this case, you're buying a contract, which consists of 100 shares. So the premium times that is what you would pay. You can buy more than one contract. And so then at this point, to make sure that your call is a solid call, there's fundamentals inside. So you have like the volume.
Okay.
If the volume is high, chances are a lot of people are in that call.
Right.
If the open interest is high, chances are a lot of people are in that call.
Okay.
You then want to learn your Greeks.
Right.
Delta is the amount of money you would make every time it goes up $1. Their theta, that's the devil. That's what eats your money up. When your expiration date is closer to the date in which you're purchasing this option, the theta is usually higher.
Okay.
It eats your money up faster.
Right.
So you have to be careful.
Right. And you have to constantly watch.
You have to constantly watch. If you're not willing to lose money, your best bet is not to buy something too close to the date of purchase, because your data will literally eat it up and you don't have enough time to recover.
Right, right.
So that's pretty much what the option is. Like I said, you have day
So do you suggest for beginners to go into options, or should they learn about long-term investing before they go into options and day trading and all of that stuff?
What I think is, if you really want to progress and prosper in this particular industry, then I think it's perfectly okay for you to do options.
Okay.
There's some suggestions I would have that I actually learned from the person who mentors me.
Right.
Him and his wife do a really good job at mentoring us. I got in the group with 600 members. It's like 2,200 now. But the things that I would suggest is, once you're up 30%, don't get greedy.
Right.
Take it.
Right.
If you're down
30%,
take the loss and keep it pushing.
Right.
I would say stick with your leaps.
Yep.
Because they're easy
and again,
to recover.
leaps are further out.
6 months to further. 6 months
6 to 2 years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Stick with your leaps. Take your profit at 30. Take your loss at 30. You have to learn that there's emotions in trading, and you can't allow them to play a part in your trading. You can't be emotional.
You can't allow your emotions to get involved.
You have to get a hold of those emotions in order to be in this business.
Right.
So I say definitely go for it. Don't buy more than 2 contracts at a time.
Right.
And then what's something else I could recommend? Definitely don't buy more than 2. Take at 30. Sell at 30. Stay with your leaps. And that's pretty much it. Oh, do your due diligence. It's great to have somebody tell you, hey, this is going to go. But you also have to do the research.
Do your own research.
And while you're doing these things, I say learn, because you want to make this a source of income.
Right.
This is not a gambling. People
so where are some of the places that they can go? Yahoo Finance.
Yahoo Finance, CNBC is really good. And believe it or not,
Google.
YouTube.
And
I
Google.
YouTube tons of videos that taught me how to read candles. I'm still
learning.
I'm not gonna say I'm the best at
it.
But I'm learning how to read candles, learning about support and resistance lines. And once you kind of get that down pat, it becomes second nature, and then you can really make this a source of income.
Right.
So those are the best things I could say. Like, definitely stick with the leaps, 30% up, 30% down. Don't do more than 2 contracts.
Right.
If you do that, then I definitely suggest that you do trading options. Also, when you make your profit, when you get your profit, I say buy into the ETFs. Before you buy into the regular companies.
So let's explain what an ETF and a mutual fund actually is.
So you're better at that.
Okay, so an ETF is basically a company.
It's basically
it's a bunch of companies.
So like, I'm not particularly sure like what ETFs have everything in it. That's the part I'm not the best at. But what it is it's a company that involves everything. So like, instead of you buying a JetBlue
so if
or
I'm not mistaken, the S&P 500 has ETFs.
Yeah, S&P 500 is tech, is everything.
Yeah, and then the Dow Jones has ETFs.
They all do.
They all do,
what
right?
it is like, instead of you buying into like JetBlue,
one company,
or Delta,
you're buying
or
a cluster.
Spirit, you're buying an ETF which involves all the
right. So it's more diversification.
Correct. So
don't quote us, but
don't quote us, but that's where I'm still learning.
Right.
But like, and same thing with tax, and all those things. Instead of buying into one particular tax.
And mutual funds are almost the same exact thing as far as like when it comes to ETFs. It's a whole bunch of companies put together in one.
So you're
it
bound,
gives you more diversification.
Correct. And so with the ETFs, you're bound to like make money, because even if, like, let's say you in an ETF with airlines, even if JetBlue wasn't necessarily doing good, Delta might be doing good. So again, the mentor that we have, he encouraged us to get our ETFs to 10,000. He was like, once you have $10,000 in ETFs,
you're good.
Then you're good.
That's a good foundation.
That's a great foundation. And at that point, you would then start to go into different companies.
Because this is the thing, ETFs and mutual funds are great starter kits because again, it's low risk. So you have a better chance of doing well.
Right.
If you put all your money in, it like they say, if you put
that one company and it goes bad, then
you're down.
That's it.
So you do the mutual funds and you do the ETFs, and you have a better chance of winning.
Right. And then another thing I say is when, like, for example, Jumia. Jumia is my baby.
Right.
I'm never turning my back on Jumia.
Right.
I put so many people onto that.
Explain what Jumia is and then go into that.
It's basically just like an Amazon, but it comes from Nigeria.
Okay, so the Amazon of Africa.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it is. And again, that was something that was referred to me by like the person that mentors me.
Right, but you did your homework.
I did my homework on it, and I put people onto it, and then it went up to, I remember the first time we got into it, with maybe 3 months later, it had earnings.
Right.
And you know they have earnings every 3 months for all companies.
A lot of stocks and don't have earnings. So it had earnings,
and then it went up to $20, and we was all like, oh yes, yes, yes. And we didn't sell our option calls, so we all lost the money. And so not only did they choose to lose out on the money from the options, they just didn't have faith, and they sold their stocks.
Oh, so you did options with this. You did
both. I had both.
Oh, you did both.
We all had both.
Okay.
But those who lost the money in the options, like, they had no more faith in Jumia, and they ended up selling their stock. I stood faithful to it.
Right. So you lost money with your.
I took a profit still on my call, but initially my profit was like, I want to say $2,200.
Okay.
And I watched it go down. I ended up selling it for like $1,200. So I still made a profit, but being greedy.
Right.
I lost out on
because greed will get you.
Get the best of you.
Right.
So I didn't turn my back on Jumia.
Right.
Again, I bought it at $430. It is now like $60-something.
Right.
If I knew what I knew now, if I knew
what you
now
then.
what I knew, knew then. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have bought way more shares.
Right.
Way more shares. To me, I was like 197. I don't know. What if I lose it?
Right.
But my little 197 got me like 46 shares, and I'm up over 3,000 right now. But again, had I known then what I know now, I would have never been so fearful to put more money.
But again, people got to take baby steps.
Absolutely.
Trial and tribulation. Like, you don't want to put all your money into this if you don't understand.
Right.
So you want to take your baby steps, and you want to get to a point where you understand it and you know how to do your research, and then you could go hard.
Absolutely. So that was my baby. I stood faithful to. I still have it. I believe that they have a target price of 100 to 150. Right now it's at 60, so there's definitely more room for growth.
Right.
But yeah, I mean. So
let's just talk about a little bit about how, in one of your situations, you paid $150.
Oh my gosh, Quan.
Yo.
Yeah.
I don't know much about cryptocurrency, but she's teaching me.
So
I'm like a dinosaur.
I'm still pretty much
a baby in it too, but
again, my mentor was like, listen, get in it while you can. So I believe I got in it at 0.0037 before it was even a cent.
So look, so today she's telling me about this. I'm like, yo, I gotta get on this. So I do a lot of my trading with TD Ameritrade, and I do it with Fidelity. I tried to do it and see if I could buy it, but I couldn't buy it.
So I don't know what it isn't on, but I know it's definitely not on TD.
Right.
And I know that it definitely is on Robinhood.
Right. So
that's what I got.
So you
I got it on Robinhood.
You can buy cryptocurrency through Robinhood.
Yes, you can buy cryptocurrency.
Okay, so now I gotta ask you the question that we all want to know. How do you feel about what's going on with Robinhood and all of this stuff?
I mean, it's not cool. I think, for years and years, we as the minority haven't had the knowledge on what trading and what investing in stock can do for us, you know? And we're getting hip to it. Robinhood is not favored because the fact that it does have, like, you know, younger people and minorities.
Millennials and Gen X.
Yeah, primarily millennials. So it's not favored, but basically what happened is AMC obviously isn't doing well. GameStop isn't something huge. The hedge funds, these rich Wall Street individuals who manipulate the stock market, of course, they basically shorted it, which means that they indicated it was going to go down. They put billions of dollars into it with the perception that it would go down and they would make money. But then you had the young ones, the ones who are getting hip to this, and they're like, no, we're not letting that rock. Not this time around. Y'all got enough billions. Like, it's our turn. So they started doing their little things, different chats, and they was like, nah, we going to put money into this and we going to buy calls. So it brung the stock market, it brung the share price up.
When they was trying to make it go down.
And so they lost, if I'm not mistaken, over $5 billion.
Billions.
And so Robinhood says he had to make an executive decision.
So how did you feel about him freezing?
I think it was terrible because my thing is this. For years, these hedge funds and these rich Wall Street individuals have been manipulating the system and getting rich off of our dime. And the moment that we become knowledgeable on how to win, just like they've been winning all these years, now our money's cut short. How is that fair?
But we're not gonna go into that.
You know, so I think it was his job to make sure that the people who put their time and energy into this and trying to make their lives better as well, it was his job to let it be a fair situation. If that's what happened, then they lose their money. They lose their money. Let us get our money. So I don't think what he did was fair. I know there's a class action lawsuit.
The crazy shit is, GameStop was $29. It went to $500. So that means if you bought 10 shares, you spent $290, and it went up from $290 to $5,000.
How about the people who were in the calls?
Oh, that's...
I know people in the calls in my chat who hit over $100,000, $200,000, $300,000.
That quick. So was they honored their money? Like, how did
because it was frozen, they weren't able to sell.
So they was just in limbo?
Correct. Wow. And then it's like, it's just, what he did wasn't fair. I mean, I'm not particularly sure how true this is, but it was said that the hedge funds that were putting in these puts, the money that they use to invest in these options is not their money. It's the money of
the people that invest with them.
Teachers, their pensions, officers' pensions, any city worker, their pensions. So they would have lost all the money that's really ours. So I think that was why he felt like he had to save it. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it was a noble thing. It was a tough call for him.
It was a tough call.
You know what I'm saying?
If that is the case, then I guess it's a noble thing. But at the end of the day, they need to stop this. They need to stop trying to manipulate the system and
listen, the people is getting hip.
Yeah. We getting hit.
Tired of being broke.
Yeah, we definitely getting hit.
We trying to hit some home runs too. So that was amazing in itself too.
Yeah.
So would you suggest people to continue to do
Robinhood?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think it's a new platform that's besides that, it was making a great name for itself.
And it's really easy to navigate.
It's very easy to navigate. Being someone who's smart, I hate it's too much for me. It's too much. Robinhood is very easy to navigate.
And you figured it out quick, and once you learned, you was like, boom.
Yeah, it's definitely simple. It's easier to navigate.
So, if people are interested in cryptocurrency, they can buy cryptocurrency through Robinhood.
Yes, and cryptocurrency is 24 hours.
How do you feel about Webull? Do you know anything about Webull?
I don't.
People have been telling me about Webull. Please, if y'all know anything about Webull,
let us know. I know that he recommends it. My mentor recommends Webull, Fidelity. So they are recommended.
I do
some
business
people that
with
also
Fidelity.
say Webull isn't the easiest to navigate. But
Really?
I guess it's all what works for you.
Because a lot of people was telling me like Webull is like Robinhood's competition. Like
pretty much.
Pretty
much. But I mean, whatever's easier for you.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
But I don't think Robinhood's going nowhere. I have friends that say, "What should I do? Should I take my money out?" I mean, I wouldn't.
Okay, so quick question about real estate. right now, is this a good time to buy?
I wouldn't say yes.
Okay.
I thought so for a while, but I say I don't think it's.
And why is that?
Just it's the interest rates are good.
Right.
They're
so
good.
I feel like.
But I think people are overpricing their homes right now. I definitely think the sale is overpriced.
Okay.
Interest rates are amazing because of COVID.
Right.
So in that case, I guess if you got the money for the house you want,
right.
this would be a good time because
right.
interest rates are definitely good.
Right.
But the houses are, I think they're overpriced right now.
So, okay. So you feel like the housing market is a little pricey right now. So when do you think it would be a good time to purchase a house? A little bit after COVID?
Yeah.
You think it's gonna?
I mean, yeah. There's gonna be some people that COVID lasts longer than we expected. So there's gonna be some people that are probably desperate to sell their house.
Right.
And so the prices of the houses might come back down, and in that case, I say go for it.
Right.
But yeah,
so it could go. It could go either way.
Yeah.
Is it easier for people to buy houses right now?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, unless, like I said, unless you have the money for the house that you want, then with the interest rates being low, then of course, yeah. But it's...
And see, we was younger about 12, 13 years ago when we went through the great recession.
Oh, yeah.
And the real estate market crashed and it was a bubble and all that. We was working for LaShawna back then.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people lost their homes about 12, 13 years ago. So they're not really calling it a recession and they're not really calling it...
It's a recession. I think it's the worst it's ever been, to be honest.
Since the Great Depression, because you know the Great Depression was crazy.
I think that it was worse than that.
It's the worst that we've seen in our lifetime.
It's worse than that too, though. I feel like I could be wrong.
Yeah, we don't know if we wasn't there for that.
The unemployment rate is higher now than it was then.
That could be. Well, we would have to do our research. Right, we would have to do our research on that.
I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, but it's just crazy right now. So people should wait.
I say people should wait.
I mean, I
know individuals that what they do is buy a house and flip.
Right.
And they even hit me on something like, I'm not even doing it right now. It doesn't work for me. So they doing their marketing strategy.
Even with the interest rates being low?
Even with the interest rates being low. Well, this individual particularly doesn't use loans. He uses hard money lenders.
Okay.
But the market just doesn't work for him. It's not working. So he's actually going a different route right now. He's very articulate. He's very knowledgeable. So what he's doing is he's still trying to search for it, and if he's unable to do so, he's using more of a marketing strategy. So I'm kind of in that with him. Well, we spoke about it. I'm not necessarily in it yet, but we spoke about it. He's using more of a marketing strategy because it's not a good time. Right. It's not a good time to buy.
So if you could pick between investments in the stock market and options or real estate, which one, because you're pretty knowledgeable in both of them at this particular moment, which one would you feel is the avenue that the average American should go with?
Oh, that's a hard question. I would tell you what I would do.
Right.
So what I would do is I would stick with the investments right now. With the fact that we're changing presidents, we really don't know how good the market is.
What Joe is going.
Right. But it's so far it's looking good.
Right.
And when you make money off of your investments, if you take the money out and you buy a home within 6 months, you don't pay
the capital gains.
Correct.
Okay. So
for me, I would rather stack my bread, keep getting this money from the investments when the time, because I don't have my house.
And somebody was also telling me when it comes to stocks, if you buy stocks, I don't know if this is the same with options and day trading or whatever, but if you buy a stock and you sell it before the year's out, you pay taxes on that too.
I think I'm.
So it's good to hold. It's good to hold your investments for longer than a year.
Pay taxes until you actually take out of the investment.
Right. So people should try to hold their stocks a little longer than if they make a profit taking it out because.
For the most part, most of my stock I haven't sold any.
Right.
I keep my thing is in the long term. I'm not in a position where I'm struggling.
Right.
I have more than enough money to pay my bills and still enjoy the life that makes me
and that's the thing too. What people should understand too when it comes to investing, like if you're gonna buy stocks and you're gonna buy investing, make sure you're not spending your rent money,
yeah,
your car note money,
yeah,
your insurance money.
yeah.
This is money that you should be, just your extra money. Like I tell people, the average American makes $876 a week, which translates into $45,552 a year. So if the average American makes that amount of money, you should easily be able to take, if you make the $876 a week, take 10%. Take $87, save that. Once you save that, you do that for 10 to 12 weeks, you have over $1,000. Once you have over $1,000, it's a doubles game. If you have $1,000 saved, Sal, you're 10 doubles away from $1 million.
Makes sense.
How crazy is that?
Nice. You know what's crazy? When it comes to money, period, we always think about the larger picture.
Right.
We never think about the
baby steps.
The baby steps. It's like, I want that now. This is what I need. Oh, I don't see this. Like, it's really all about starting at you gotta crawl before you walk at the end of the day. Like,
work on your starter kit.
I learned even in trading, I learned the hard way. Like, patience is key.
Right.
Patience. Everybody wants it right now.
Right.
I want this right now. Like, when you want it right now, you only gonna throw yourself 1,000 steps backwards. Right. IPOC, it merged into something that's now called Clove.
Right.
Bought an option call, I think 3 contracts back in August maybe.
Okay. It
was going up and down, I'm negative 150, I'm negative 200. I'm like, God darn it, like, I'm like, yo, I'm about to sell this. And they're like, nah, hold it. I'm like, I don't know. Held it.
Right.
This is where I learned. It took me months because I started stock in May, heavy. It took me to November to really learn that patience is key. I never sold it. It ended up going up like 3 days later. I ended up profiting like $2,800.
Wow.
I was negative for
months.
And I was impatient. But for the first time, I stood patient and I profited $2,800. So patience is definitely key in this industry. Definitely, number one thing I would say.
So the point we're trying to make is make sure you save up a little bit of money. Once you save up a little bit of money, once you get that first 1,000, now figure out how you're gonna get those 10 doubles to get to $1 million.
Yep.
It's that simple. 10 doubles to $1 million. I'm not gonna break down how 1,000 goes to 2,000, 2,000 goes to 4,000, 4,000 goes to 8. But you can check that out on my page. I did a video on that the other day.
I just say patience is key. You gotta be in it to win it. You gotta let your emotions, you gotta let them go.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, you gotta be smart about your money. You know, we gotta do something different.
Right.
We quick to be like, yo, I'm gonna go get this Gucci belt. I'm gonna go get this. You get 30 of those. Right. If you make sure you invest your money right.
Right.
You can't spend your last $500-$600 on a belt and then you have nothing to show for it. Because guess what? You're not gonna wear that belt in another 2 years anyway.
Right. That's a fact.
You put your money, that 600 somewhere, that 600 could easily, depending on what you invest in, depending on your due diligence and what you research, you can easily quadruple. And you can get yourself a belt, a this, a that. Like, you just have to be smart about your money.
Yo, when she told me $150 brought her back over $3,000, I said, yo, that's the smartest $150 you ever invested. Yep. That's the best double game I've ever heard.
And there's so much more room for growth.
Right. That's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning.
You know, so you know, people just gotta realize that they gotta take the chance and they gotta wanna try to learn and they gotta wanna do the research and do their homework. And once they do that, they're gonna be good. Yeah,
and at the end of the day, you know, you're gonna get advice.
Right.
You know, and it's cool to listen to it, but you have to do what makes you comfortable.
Right.
You know, I had like Segi, that's another baby of mine. I told everybody about that. I'm hitting people like, yo, buy this, buy that. You know, everybody doesn't have the money you have to put in, which is fine. Right. But you have to be comfortable with what you're putting in.
So my double ain't the same as your double.
Yep.
Everybody's double is different. Everybody's money game is different.
Yep. And literally in the time that I've been doing stock, I want to say my fear, I have to let go of my fear probably within the last 2 months only. Right. Everybody's like, Segi. I started a small position.
So what's Segi, Dave?
It's basically a entertainment platform. Right. LeBron James basically got a hold of that. You said
Meek Mill got a hold?
Bought some shares in it yesterday. Right. When it started going crazy. I got in at 0.27, so close to 3 cents, is now approaching 9 cents.
Wow.
And with penny stocks, of course, you know the decimal means everything.
Right.
So I have pretty much about close to 200,000 shares.
Right.
I'm up a nice little.
And that's crazy because you introduced me into penny stocks. Like I didn't really know much about penny stocks. Like I like blue chip companies. Mm-hmm. She put me onto the penny stocks, and yo, that shit just opened up my mind to a whole another avenue. So explain a little bit what penny stocks are.
Basically, it's just like starting at the penny, like pretty much.
Right.
Like, but the thing is, with the penny stocks, it can make or break you.
Right.
Like it literally, the decimal.
And tell how you bought a penny stock before it was even a penny.
Oh, that's this one. That's Segi. I bought this one at less than a penny. 0.00. No, that was Dodge.
Yeah.
That was the crypto. That was the crypto.
The symbol for that is Dog E.
Yeah.
DOGE, right?
Yep. That's the one I bought that less than a penny. This one I bought approaching 3 cents.
Wow.
But it can make or break you. But that's another thing. Like when you make your money, and now you have all this play money,
right?
You could throw it into something like this. Because the reality is, these millionaires right now,
that's what they do. They're playing the game.
If they put $1 million on a penny stock, literally one decimal or 1 cent could bring them millions more. They don't need
and what you were saying that they do when it moves a decimal?
They sell. They take their profit out.
So if it moves a decimal, they make $1 million. They out.
That's it. So once you start making your money, at this point, everything you gain, all your profits is play money. I'm not saying throw it away like that.
Right.
Invest. You take some of what your profit is and you invest in companies that you know for certain are going to achieve their goal and meet their goals and continue to climb up. But then you got other things that are new, other platforms that are going to be new, other companies that's going to be new that you have to take a chance on as long as what they have is looking good.
Right.
If they have a future, definitely jump into it. You know, don't throw everything away, but definitely jump into it. I was like, listen, looked at my savings. I'm like, this was my model. I put $3,500 in it.
Right.
My model was, and I took it out of my savings, which somebody would be like, yeah, that's mad scary. And it is.
Right.
My model is, from all the other stocks that I've put my money in, I've made more than that.
Right.
So this 35 could either make me a millionaire if it goes to the predicted amount that it's supposed to be, right? Or I could lose it. But even if I lose it, I'm not losing anything.
You're not in the red.
Because I've gained so much money in other stocks from my mentor.
Right.
So it's not like I'm starting from the beginning.
Right.
So that's how my logic was like, well, if I lose it, I'm still up because I've made more than 35.
So she told me about Segi, and I did my little research, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this shit seemed like it's really going to pop. So I put my bread in it too. I'm gonna perform all day. We was killing all day with that shit, yo.
Killing it.
So I had to get at her, and I had to link with her because I just felt like she was helping me so much. Like sometimes you can't be prideful. Like I've been doing this longer than her.
Way longer.
But sometimes people that might just start at something might have like a beginner's, they might be smarter than you. They might just be able to get more information, and they might just see things that you don't see, and you might be stuck in your old ways. So you gotta link with your peoples, your friends, your family that's about the money and that's trying to get the money, and y'all all come together and y'all do what we doing here. Yeah. And that's what it's really all about.
We literally speak on the phone at least 3 times a week, 4 times, but we text probably every day.
Every day. And you know, we family, so it's like it just brings us closer. Mm-hmm. Like she made me wow bread. Yo, in the last couple days, like thousands. I can't even front. Like I've never been into the penny stocks. She put me on with that shit. I've been killing, y'all. Like, yo,
it's dope.
Low-key genius
good.
Right here.
My thing is this, I feel like as my big cousin, he's taught me so much.
Right.
And I really wish I would have listened to you years ago when you told me about this.
Right.
I didn't, and there's never too late. But as my big cousin, you teaching me so much. I just feel like regardless of who's getting the money, whoever's getting it is still a win for me.
Right.
So I'm just happy to be able to share what I know and take what you've taught me and just put it together and just win at the end of the day.
So we really doing this to help our family, but we trying to help other people as well with financial literacy, and that's really why we went live today, and we're gonna put this on YouTube and do different things because I have my own YouTube channel, and I just feel like she's so knowledgeable that I had to bust it up on her today. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely say one more thing. I would definitely encourage people to get into stock.
Right.
However, you know, some people don't necessarily have the funds, right? So if for whatever reason you don't have it, I mean, even $20 could get you some. Matter of fact, it can. My coworker, he opened real fast. He opened Robinhood a few months ago. He has like 4 stocks free from like recommending people. It was like $19.
Right.
We took his $19, I want to say last Wednesday, and put it into Dogecoin. He made like, I think almost close to 200. But so my point is, even $20, if you don't have it, if you invest it wisely, it could bring you 100, 200, and you may think that's nothing. But it is something, because my first stock, like I said, Jumia, I paid $187 for it, and it brought me $3,000. So as long as you're doing your due diligence, $20 can still make you. It's small steps. But if for whatever reason you are afraid to jump into this industry, I would suggest you looking into CDs and online savings accounts, because when you leave your money in a regular savings account, you're not making any money off of that.
But the thing about CDs too, though, Sal, you know, you lose money too with CDs because of the interest rate.
In that case, online savings, you don't lose money with that.
And is a higher interest rate?
It's a higher APY.
Okay.
Instead of APR, it's an APY. It's the money that they give you for leaving your money in their account.
Right.
So you're always gonna make money on it. It may not be a lot, but it's definitely more than you're gonna get if you leave your money in a savings account in a bank.
Right.
So I suggest, if you are afraid to enter this industry, open up online savings versus regular savings. So, but again, $20 could get you 100, 100 could get you 2, and so forth. This is about investing smart.
And one other small thing: know your why and know your what. Know why you're getting into it, and know what your purpose is and why you want to do this.
Yep. Set goals for yourself.
Set goals for yourself. Short term, mid-term, and long term.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I think that's pretty much it, Sal. Like, we don't gotta keep chatting, like, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I love you as one of my most favorite people in the world. My favorite cousin. If y'all didn't know, she's my little cousin. My favorite cousin. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna be coming back. I'm gonna be harassing her more, y'all. Like, this ain't the end. So, you know, just check us out, man. We gonna be doing this. Check my YouTube channel, Quan Dukes at YouTube, and my Instagram, Quan Dukes IG, right? That's how it goes, right? Yeah. So, thank you, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Word.